You can't steer a parked car. Now, I mean that like literally, but also like there's a deeper philosophical meaning. And that's the idea that clarity comes after action. And basically what I mean is that sometimes we overthink a situation too much and we just get paralyzed in all the thought that we don't actually act. But when we actually do act and just make the first move, all the clarity comes afterwards. All the movement, all the progression comes after that first initial like action that you take. And that's the idea of you can't steer a parked car. So if you're literally like parked, like there's no, like you can steer the car, but it's not gonna like change the direction of the car at all. You have to get like going with the car, even if it's slow. But as soon as the car is like physically moving, then you can turn the steering wheel, and then the car will actually change directions in the direction you want to go. And it's the same thing with like real life situations. Like I remember for the longest time, like I didn't speak to the girl that I liked because I didn't know like the perfect phrase. I was just kind of sat there in my car, like figuratively, I was just like in my car still thinking about like, oh, what should I say? Like, what's the best place to, you know, have this conversation? And if she says this, how should I respond? Should I make a joke here? Like I was just overthinking it completely. I was a stationary car trying to steer. But one day I was like, you know, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? And so I basically just went up to her and basically said like the most brain dead thing I could think of at the moment. And it basically was like, we were in a classroom and we had to like get into groups. Like all the groups were like labeled like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to like 8. And it was like all numbered on like the tables, on the screens and everything. But I literally went up to her and go like, oh yeah, what group are you in? And she was literally like standing right next to the group number. But like, you know, like just with that simple phrase, like it wasn't some, you know, smart, like, you know, pickup line at all. It was just the most like brain dead obvious thing that I could like think of. But just saying that sentence, even though it wasn't anything like, you know, cool or like fancy, it broke the ice and the conversation just followed afterwards. So that's the idea that you can't steer a parked car. Like sometimes you just have to make that first leap of faith, take that action, like actually, you know, let go of the brakes, let the car start moving, and then you can start steer and find your direction. But there's no way that you can actually change the direction of your car if you don't move in the first place. So that's the idea of you can't steer a parked car.